Have you ever found yourself waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night just to use the bathroom? Maybe you've noticed it's harder to start the flow, or you feel like you can never quite empty your bladder. It's not something we love to talk about, especially as men, but it's something so many of us face as we age. And you know what? You're not alone. Now, here's the real kicker. For something that affects so many men over 60, why is it that no one's talking about the simple, natural ways to deal with it? The truth is, there are certain foods, everyday foods, right in your kitchen that can quietly and powerfully help support your prostate. I'm talking about nuts. Yep, those humble little snacks you might enjoy in front of the TV or toss into your morning oatmeal might just hold the key to better nights, stronger flow, and more confidence. But here's the thing, they don't advertise this on TV. Most doctors won't bring it up unless you ask. And frankly, the pharmaceutical companies certainly aren't rushing to tell you that something as simple and inexpensive as a handful of nuts might make a real difference in your prostate health. So today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to talk about the truth behind nuts that can help shrink an enlarged prostate, why they work, and how to start adding them to your day without making huge changes. We're not talking about magic or hype, just honest, natural advice backed by real science and real results, especially for men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. Let's start with something that might surprise you: walnuts. You might already be snacking on them or sprinkling them over your salad, but walnuts are far more than just a healthy fat. These little guys are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, which help reduce inflammation in the body, including in the prostate. When your prostate becomes inflamed or enlarged, that's when the pressure builds up around your bladder, and that's when those frustrating symptoms show up. Frequent urination. Slow stream. That feeling like you never quite finish. Walnuts also contain phytosterols. That's just a fancy word for plant compounds that help regulate hormones, especially testosterone and DHT, which play a major role in prostate enlargement. By keeping those hormones in balance, walnuts may actually help slow the growth of the prostate or even reduce its size over time. Imagine waking up just once, or not at all, in the middle of the night, simply because you made a small change in your diet. Now, I know what some folks say: I don't like the taste of walnuts, or they're too bitter. But here's a little trick I picked up. Try lightly toasting them in the oven for 5 minutes with just a pinch of cinnamon or a drizzle of honey. Suddenly, they're not just healthy, they're delicious. A small handful a day is enough. You don't need to overdo it. Now let's talk about another nut that deserves a little more love: pumpkin seeds. Okay, yes, they're technically seeds and not nuts, but they work the same magic and in some ways, even more. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, a mineral your prostate absolutely loves. Zinc helps regulate the cells in the prostate and keeps them from becoming overactive or inflamed. In fact, the prostate has one of the highest concentrations of zinc in the entire body. When your zinc levels drop, and they often do as we get older, your risk of problems goes up. What's amazing is that even just a small handful of pumpkin seeds each day can help restore those zinc levels naturally. They're also full of antioxidants, which protect your cells from damage, and they help keep your immune system strong. And let's be honest, at our age, anything that helps our body run smoother without side effects is worth a second look. You can snack on pumpkin seeds straight, toss them in your soup, or blend them into a smoothie. They've got a great nutty flavor, and once you start enjoying them, you might even find yourself reaching for them instead of the chips or cookies. I'll tell you a quick story. My friend George, who's 72 now, used to complain nonstop about his nighttime bathroom trips. Every time we'd have lunch, he'd groan about how he couldn't get a solid stretch of sleep anymore. I told him to start adding a mix of walnuts and pumpkin seeds to his daily routine. He looked at me like I was crazy. "You mean I should eat nuts instead of taking another pill?" he said. I just smiled. 2 months later, he came back with a grin and said, "I'm down to waking up just once a night. And I haven't even finished the bottle of zinc pills I bought." That's the power of food, my friend. Real, simple food with real effects. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent. And let me say this, you're never too old to make a change. I know some of you might be thinking, I've been eating the same way for decades. But small shifts can create big results. Especially when those shifts support your body's natural balance, rather than fight against it. Now, while we're on the topic of nuts, I want to quickly touch on Brazil nuts. These are kind of the hidden heroes of prostate health. Just one Brazil nut contains your entire daily need of selenium, another powerful nutrient for the prostate. Selenium helps lower PSA levels and may even reduce the risk of prostate cancer. But you don't want too much, just 1 or 2 a day is enough. It's amazing, isn't it? Something so small, so simple, can have such a deep impact. Not just on how you sleep at night, but on how you feel during the day. Less worry, less urgency, more energy for the things you actually enjoy: walking in the park, playing with your grandkids, or just sitting down for a meal without having to scope out the nearest bathroom. These aren't gimmicks. They're choices. And the best part? They're choices you can start today. So as you think about your next snack or what you'll sprinkle on your cereal in the morning, remember, your prostate is listening. It's responding to what you feed it. And every small step you take is a step toward better health, better sleep, and a better life, one handful at a time. Now that you're starting to see just how powerful these simple foods can be, let's keep going. Because there's more to this story: more nuts, more nutrients, and more easy ways to give your prostate exactly what it needs to stay healthy and calm. Let's talk about almonds. Now I know almonds are nothing new. They've been a snack favorite for years. But what you might not know is how much they help your body, especially as you age. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, a natural antioxidant that helps reduce inflammation all over the body, including in the prostate. And that matters, because inflammation is one of the biggest silent enemies we face as we get older. What's great about vitamin E is that it doesn't just help your prostate, it supports your skin, your heart, even your memory. It's one of those nutrients that keeps you feeling younger, sharper, and more in control. And almonds deliver a good dose in every handful. But here's where it gets interesting. Almonds also contain something called magnesium. And studies have shown that men with higher magnesium levels often have lower PSA levels. That means less swelling, less pressure, and a lot fewer middle-of-the-night bathroom trips. Pretty incredible for something that comes in a little brown shell, isn't it? A couple of friends I know who started swapping their afternoon cookies or crackers for a few almonds started feeling better within a couple of weeks. Not because it was some massive change, but because it was consistent. That's the trick: not doing everything at once, but doing something every day. Now, I want to share a nut that often gets overlooked: pistachios. You might think of them more as a fun party snack, but pistachios are actually a secret weapon for prostate health. They're packed with something called plant sterols, which, like we mentioned earlier with walnuts, help balance hormones like DHT that can cause the prostate to swell. And when your hormones are in balance, your whole body works better. But pistachios also help with blood flow, and that's good news not just for your heart, but for everything else that depends on good circulation, if you catch my drift. A lot of men over 60 struggle with more than just prostate problems. And believe it or not, one healthy change can help in more than one area. Plus, pistachios are lower in calories than many other nuts, so if you're watching your weight or your doctor told you to keep an eye on your cholesterol, they're a great option. Just make sure to go for the unsalted kind if you have high blood pressure. A small handful after dinner or as an afternoon snack can go a long way. Speaking of helping more than just the prostate, let's take a moment to talk about cashews. Cashews are smooth, a little sweet, and easy to eat. But they're also rich in zinc, like pumpkin seeds, and they support immune health, testosterone balance, and even muscle function. Now, I know a lot of men worry about losing strength as they get older, feeling a bit weaker, or not having the energy to move like they used to. Cashews give you some of that foundational support, helping your muscles recover and your energy stay steady. And because zinc plays such an important role in prostate tissue, every little bit helps. You don't need to eat bowls full of them, just a few with breakfast or a small portion in a salad can give your body that extra boost it's been missing. I want to pause here for just a moment and say something important. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's not about eating the right thing every single time. It's about starting where you are and adding one small, smart habit at a time. Maybe you start with walnuts in your oatmeal. Maybe it's a handful of almonds while you read the paper. Maybe you bring some pumpkin seeds with you on your walk. Whatever works for you is the right way to begin. And I want to remind you, your body is always trying to heal. Always. Even when we're older, even when we've been through a lot, our bodies are still fighting for us. When you give your body the nutrients it needs, real food, clean food, natural food, it responds. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes you barely notice it at first. But little by little, things get better. Sleep gets deeper. The urgency fades. The discomfort starts to ease. And before you know it, you're living more freely again. That's not a miracle, it's just the power of food doing what it was meant to do. Now, some of you might be wondering, can I just take supplements instead? That's a fair question. And yes, in some cases, supplements can help, especially if your diet is lacking. But there's something powerful about getting your nutrients from real food. Nature designed it that way. When you eat the whole nut, you're not just getting one nutrient, you're getting the full package: healthy fats, fiber, protein, vitamins, minerals. All working together in harmony. That's something no pill can quite replicate. And let's not forget, eating these nuts also replaces less helpful habits. Maybe instead of a bag of chips, you reach for pistachios. Instead of processed snacks, it's almonds and a banana. Those choices stack up over time, and every choice is a vote for better health. One last thing I want to touch on is hydration. It's not a nut, I know, but it matters more than people realize when it comes to prostate health. Many men over 60 don't drink enough water. They're afraid to, because they already feel like they're in the bathroom too often. But dehydration actually makes things worse. It concentrates your urine, irritates your bladder, and can lead to infections. If you're adding nuts to your diet, great, but remember to drink plenty of water too. Your prostate will thank you for it. All of this, the nuts, the water, the small daily habits, they may sound simple. And they are. But simple doesn't mean weak. Sometimes the simplest things carry the most power. And that's what this journey is about. Not fixing everything overnight. Just giving your body the tools it needs, one small step at a time. We've talked about walnuts, almonds, pumpkin seeds, pistachios, cashews, and how these small, simple foods can quietly support your prostate without the side effects or overwhelm that often come with more aggressive treatments. But let's take it one step deeper. Because while knowing what to eat is important, how you incorporate these foods into your daily life, especially at this stage, is just as crucial. It's not enough to hear, "Oh, nuts are good for you." We've all heard that. The key is making it work for you, your routine, and your body right now. Let me tell you about Robert. He's 69, retired, and one of those guys who always swore he'd never change his diet. Bacon and eggs for breakfast, white bread with lunch, a soda in the afternoon. For years, he brushed off the nighttime urination and the slower stream, thinking it was just part of getting old. Then his doctor told him his PSA levels were creeping up, and he'd probably need medication. That got his attention. But what really changed his mind wasn't the scare, it was seeing a simple plan he could actually follow. So he started with breakfast. Instead of greasy sausage every morning, he swapped in oatmeal with chopped walnuts and sliced banana. He added a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds on top, not a massive change, but something manageable. For his afternoon snack, he ditched the cookies and kept a small jar of almonds on the counter. He didn't obsess over it. He didn't measure every calorie. He just made the swaps and stuck with them. 3 months later, his follow-up appointment told the story. His PSA had leveled out. His sleep improved. He had more energy. And maybe most importantly, he felt like he was in control again. And that's really what all of this is about. Control. Dignity. Confidence. At this point in life, you deserve to feel in control of your body, not like you're at its mercy. One thing I hear a lot from men is, well, if this really works, why didn't my doctor tell me? And I get it. It can feel frustrating. But you've got to understand, most doctors are trained to treat problems with prescriptions. They're not trained to talk nutrition. It's not because they don't care. It's just not part of their system. That's why it's up to us to be our own advocates. To learn, to try, to adjust. And to trust that our bodies are capable of healing when we give them the right tools. Real food, good sleep, steady movement, and patience. Another important thing to remember, it's not just about your prostate. All of these changes support your whole body. Your heart, your brain, your joints, your digestion. That's the beauty of nature, it's all connected. When you reduce inflammation in one part, the benefits ripple through the rest of you. Let's talk for a moment about something that often gets overlooked: stress. You might not connect stress with prostate problems, but the truth is, the more stressed your body is, the more cortisol it produces, and cortisol can throw your hormones out of balance. That, in turn, can worsen prostate swelling. It becomes a vicious cycle. Discomfort leads to stress, stress leads to more swelling, and so on. The good news is, the very foods we've been talking about, nuts and seeds, contain nutrients that help regulate stress. Magnesium from almonds and cashews, omega-3s from walnuts, and calming amino acids found in pistachios all support a more balanced nervous system. That means less tension, more rest, and yes, even better bladder control. So if you're someone who carries a lot of tension, who feels anxious at night, or who just hasn't felt like himself lately, know that you're not alone. And know that healing your body also helps heal your mind. It's all part of the same journey. Now, you might be wondering, how long will it take to see results? Everyone's different. Some men notice better sleep and fewer trips to the bathroom within a couple of weeks. For others, it takes a month or two. But the important thing is this: don't quit. Stay consistent. These changes are slow, but they're steady. And they're building something real inside your body, something that can last. I know that making changes later in life isn't easy. We're used to our routines. We've got habits that have been with us for decades. But the truth is, you're stronger than you think. You've overcome so much already. You've lived through challenges that younger people can't even imagine. If anyone can make a powerful change at 60 or 70 or beyond, it's you. So start with one thing. Pick one nut. Maybe it's almonds in your yogurt, or a few pistachios after dinner. Whatever feels easiest. And then build from there. Add another the next week. Maybe even mix them into a trail mix you keep by your favorite chair. Make it part of your life, not a chore, but a gift. And when you start to notice the difference, sleeping through the night, feeling more comfortable, feeling more like you again, just remember, you made that happen. Not a doctor. Not a prescription. You. With your choices, your commitment, and your belief that it's never too late to feel better. Now, before we wrap up, let me say this: you're not doing this alone. There are millions of men out there, just like you, trying to find a better way. If this video helps you, share it with a friend. Let's build a community of men who are done suffering in silence. Let's speak up, lift each other up, and live fully. If you've made it this far, thank you. Your time, your trust, your attention, it means something. If you've got your own tips or questions, drop them in the comments. I read every one. Let's talk, share, and keep growing together. And if you haven't already, give this video a like. It helps more people find it. And hit that subscribe button if you want more honest, natural advice on health, energy, and living fully after 60. Because you're not just surviving, you're still living. And this is your time to feel strong, clear, and confident in your body again. Here's to your health. Here's to your peace. And here's to feeling good naturally.